Hi guys, I'm James at Bespoke Airsoft, and some gun is making a comeback onto the channel because people want to know more about it. Oh, it's the Chiappa Rhino. Bit on this in the showroom about the Chiappas, I think, when we had the limited editions in, but we've had the standard models in for a while now, so you guys asked if I could do a proper bringing it home show type video on it and go into a bit more detail, so I'm going to try and do that for you. Here it is in its box. The non-limited edition doesn't have a fancy case, boo, but you know, it's not a bad box at all. You're probably going to throw it in the bin anyway. Who cares about the box? Let's get this thing open.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
Kapow! Right. You've got no limited edition markings. So that's going to be different from the limited editions. You don't have charging Rhino on the front here. You just have an Energy 0.99 Joule sticker on there. Shells are already inserted when they're in the box. Iron sights. And if you haven't seen the other video that I did on this revolver set, the revolver is full metal all over, everywhere you could think of, apart from the grips, which are plastic. You pop the grip off the side, has a CO2 bulb in there, and then you can use the handle to tighten or loosen it. I think that CO2 bulb in there is empty. Yeah. So you use the lever on the side, you pull that back, and then the cylinder will push out. You can take the fake shells out any which way you want. You can do them individually. You can use the plunger at the bottom to pop them at the top, or you can just empty them all into your hand to make it nice and easy. These, as you'll tell, are made by Wingun, very reminiscent shells. We'll get more into the shells just later on. And then you pop these in one by one. Each shell holds 1 BB, so you have 6 shots, and in terms of practicality compared to a lot of other airsoft platforms out there, this thing is a very inefficient way to shoot someone on the field, but it is probably the most coolest way to shoot someone on the field and then have to reload. The realism of these things is absolutely superb. Very cool indeed. It comes in silver as well. We're just starting to get a couple of the accessories in, like the shells and the moon clips and such, so you'll see more products landing and being put up on the website. The cool thing about the hammer is when you cock it, it's kind of like a 2-part hammer system. So you've got the actual hammer inside, and then you've just got this piece on the top which you use to charge it. So what that means is you charge the hammer, say you're doing a single action shot, you let go of the hammer goes forward. So now you'll see it moves freely. So the internal hammer is actually the one that sits there waiting to be fired. Obviously you pull the trigger, and you'll see on the opposite side, when you charge the hammer, or when you pull the hammer back, you get, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this in a way where I can see the camera, but it's focusing on this. You'll see there the safety, or this little icon here shows you the revolver is live. And then you pull the trigger single action, and that will go. You can also shoot it on double action, where the hammer doesn't move, so the hammer stays there. You can still do it very quickly though. Excuse me. You can still do it very quickly. It does have a very hard trigger pull compared to some other revolvers out there, but what I mean by that is it's a lot easier, and I said this in the other video, it's a lot easier to do it double action because you already have the motion of you know, sort of tightening your tens in your hand. I'm sorry, I'm not up to speed on the muscle groups that you'll use to pull the trigger, but when you pull the trigger, you're already in that motion, so it's a lot easier. When you pull the hammer back, it obviously makes the trigger pull a lot shorter, but you're at that last breaking point, and it is quite a hard trigger. It's one of the hardest triggers I've found on a pistol of any kind, but I'm sure there's something we can come up with that to maybe do a custom trigger service where we can make them a lot better. So if individual reloading is not your style, but you still want to have the realism of this revolver. Various companies have done it different ways. You can get speed clips that hold the shells. I'm pretty sure the speed clips should work with these shells. Don't quote me on that. They look a lot like the Dan Wesson ones. I think the Dan Wesson shells from Winggun, I think they take like the real speed clips too. You can get the ones that are nice and shorter from like places like Brownells. So you can get it so where you're holding 6 rounds, you'll dump the rounds into like a dump pouch or something, and then you get the plunger and you literally just click it on and it will drop 6 shells in there. That's a much faster way, more efficient way around a revolver. The realism, in terms of realism. The other thing they do is moon clips. So what actually happens is between each shell in the cylinder barrel, whatever you call it, I honestly can't remember, there sits a little metal clip, and the metal clip clips into each shell, and it just holds 6 shells in like a laser cut piece of stainless. Makes reloading even faster because it holds the shells. When you dump them out, it's not dumping 6 individually, you're dumping 6 shells out as a one block, and it's much easier to manage. So the Chiappa limited editions came with 6 shells and it came with a moon clip. And we've had the moon clips, I think, delivered, or they're due in this week. I can't quite remember. Depends when this video goes out. We'll have had the moon clips in. I think they originally came in like packs of, I want to say 10 or packs of 20. It came in like a really weird, like a pack of 20 for like, you know, 30 quid or something silly. And I just said, look, no one needs like 20 moon clips, so we might do something different and offer them individually instead, because they're not very cheap. But also, the thing that they don't tell you is that the shells that come with the Chiappa limited edition take the moon clip, but the shells that come with the standard edition are just standard shells. So what you should have here is you should have like a little machine section, like a cutout, where this clips in, and it's not apparent on the standard shells. So that'll also be something that if you're using the moon clips with the standard edition, you might need the moon clip compatible shells. I don't know why they do this like so freakishly complicated, but bear in mind, we'll get everything in that we need and you guys need, and then, you know, just so you're aware, I wanted people to be aware of that fact, because I don't want you to go out and buy the moon clips, the standard edition, and then try and put it on and break the shells or not be aware. It's not a fault of ours, it's just the way the companies don't ever tell you this information. We never got told. It just comes in and they're like, yep, we've had the money, you've had the product, and that's normally where it ends. But let's get into the chrono and accuracy test. I can't wait to shoot this thing because it's loud, it's angry, and it's like super realistic with the shells and how they come out. We are in like a little discussion whether we should do some of our own limited editions with these, perhaps do it under the Jaeger Precision brand. Let us know in the comments below, because we'll only be doing like 1 or 2 of them maybe, or even like 4, a very low number in a very specific colour set. We'll probably Cerakote and do like a trigger adjustment on there to make it nice and light, which is what you need when you're shooting accurately as well. So let's get to the chrono test. We'll see what this thing does, then we'll do the accuracy test, and then I'll be back on camera to say the last bit, I suppose. It's been a long day. So fresh CO2 bulb, 0.2 gram BBs. See what this thing can do. First few shots are single action. And these are double action. 0.3 gram BBs this time. I've not messed with the hop at all, so we're going to see how it does. Not too sure where that dropped, but I think it was just slightly bottom left. Dead on. Dead on again. Jesus Christ.
Well, don't know where those last few shots went, but I at least got 2 or 3 in the middle, so for a 6-shooter, this is really good. It's got the adjustable hop as well, so I'll have to pick one of these up myself.
A very respectable 330 or 327 to 340 feet per second. Perfect for UK limits. That means you can use it pretty much anywhere depending on the site. Some sites don't like CO2 stuff now. It's like a really weird knee-jerk reaction to CO2. Basically, if you see you've got some CO2 on the field, and a lot of sites, you are the devil and you need to be expelled, pretty much. But, you know, a lot of companies are now doing CO2 revolvers and pistols that are, you know, UK legal. They run site limits, or they give you the option of running downgrade shells, or sort of downgrade nozzles like the Secutor stuff. They're CO2, but they normally give their little nozzles in a lot of their lines. I don't think the new Magna comes with it, because I think it's pretty much good out of the box. But the rest of them, if they were capable of firing hot, they give you like a little exchangeable part, and then you could use them on UK sites in the summer when it's really hot. The action test, you know, you'll have seen from the Chrono that you probably see that I shake when I Chrono stuff anyway when it's a pistol, and it's literally because the camera is here. I can't see because the camera's in front of me, and I'm trying to like hold it out like this and look in the camera screen, like the display on a placement for the Chrono and stuff. So you probably see I move about anyway, but it was amplified even more when you're trying to pull that trigger. I don't know what accurate representation you get there, but that is just amplified a little bit just because of the trigger pull. Obviously, it's a lot easier to pull on double action, but we can do, perhaps if we did like a nice limited edition, we do like a trigger job on these and see if we can improve it maybe. But, you know, I love this thing. It is don't get me wrong, I know people think that I, you know, throw shade at, you know, the Dan Westons and the other wing and revolvers. It's just a bit of fun that I'm just trying to say. Like, you might have seen a few memes going up there. It's not a dig at the Dan Westons. I've had Dan Westons in the past. There's nothing wrong with the system. They did learn over the period of the time doing it where they'd fit adjustable hop units. Where, how have I not talked about the adjustable hop unit on this yet? Sorry guys. It's because I did it in the first video. But yeah, they learned a little bit later on that you needed adjustable hop units to make these, you know, skirmishable, or making them easier to use. And I just think this is like one of those revolvers on steroids, because it's got all the cool features. It's super new and exciting, and it's got nice modern styling, very much similar to like the Matibas. It's got a new style hop adjustment system, so they give you this little C spanner and you put it on the hop and you can click it round up or down. It'll obviously adjust to a point where it'll go more hop, more hop, more hop, and then the last click will go off, and then you go more again. So it's a very nice intuitive design that they've put into that. It's very, very cool indeed. I don't know how I almost forgot to talk about that, but let's push past that and carry on. So this is just a very much cooler version of the Dan Westons, I think. It's cool that you know, the barrel feeds from the bottom shell rather than the top. I like the aggressive styling. You've got a adjustable iron sight on the back here, which is nice and easy to use, although sometimes when you like look at the pistol, they can sit a little on the wonky side. What I'd like to do is perhaps do something with these sights just to make them a little bit more easier to see. When you're on a black background or a dark environment, it's not the easiest to pick up. However, if I point it at the opposite side where the door's painted white, you know, you can see them perfectly, but it's not going to be like you're on the field and you're always going to be in a well-lit environment. You know, if you do it like you're doing it indoors as well, or you're under some kind of like tree coverage, they're not the easiest sights in the world to use. But I've had, as usual, I've had great fun. I always have great fun chronoing these things, reviewing these things and chronoing them and shooting them. It really is why I got into the business, and I still enjoy doing it to this day. I don't think if I did, or if I didn't still enjoy it, I don't think I'd be here, because it's quite a stressful environment. But very cool there. What I will say is, those wanting to do the old slap revolver, you can much do it, but if you break those actions, it will be on you. It won't be covered by the manufacturer's warranty if you're whacking the cylinder into the gun. If you don't, and you just push it up like I just did there, the gun or the assembly will not break, as far as I'm concerned. I've never seen a Dan Weston or another wing gun revolver break the action. Very cool, put your torches or lasers or anything on the bottom there if you wanted to. I would have loved to have seen perhaps a red dot style mount here. I think they might do it because they've got a screw up the front here, and then obviously have a screw here where this comes in. So perhaps they'll do a bracket for like a little red dot sight. That'd be cool. Like revolvers with red dot sights, as you'll see from the hater revolver that I did not long ago. But if you've got the money, you want something a little bit more realistic from like the likes of the hater, and you want something modern looking that's licensed by the firearms company themselves, and it's not you know, it's not they slap the license on and it becomes stupidly expensive like some other distributors. I mean, what's Umarex, but you know, you're not paying more than what you used to be able to for something that's just got a stamp on. So that's good as well from a realism point of view. From a realism point of view, I'm not a fan of the trades. I'd like to put something a little bit more aggressive on there and really go to town. You've got all this blank canvas where you could do some nice laser etching. We'll see if we could do some limited editions with these. Who knows? We'll see. I'm James at Bespoke. This has been the Chiappa Rhino 50DS CO2 Revolver. I recommend you pick one up, add it to your collection. If I had as much disposable income as I used to, I'd be getting all these. You'll see I have like many, you know, I do like to collect them, but you know, this could be another one maybe for like a bit of realism. Shooting in the garden as well is an absolute blast because of the realism and the shells. You know, it gives you a bit more to it. But any questions, put them down in the comments below. If I've missed anything, I'm sorry. Just pop it down in the comments below and I'll answer the best I can. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What you're playing at? Majority of our viewers, as little as there are, are actually not subscribed at all. So all the people that aren't subscribed are watching us, and all the subscribers, we get a few that watch us. Why not just subscribe? You know, you can be updated when we do more reviews or other crazy things. Who knows what we'll get up to. But this has been the Chiappa Rhino. Hope you've enjoyed it. Like I say, if I've missed anything, cast down below and I'll do my best to answer for you. And I'll see you in the next video.